Failure is an inevitable part of life, and the first step in dealing with it effectively is to accept it as a learning experience. Many people view failure as something negative, something that should be avoided at all costs. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful teachers. When we fail, we are presented with an opportunity to reflect on what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and how we can improve in the future. Without failure, growth and progress would be nearly impossible because success is often built on the lessons learned from previous mistakes. It is essential to understand that failure does not define a person. Just because someone experiences failure does not mean they are a failure. Some of the most successful people in history, including famous entrepreneurs, athletes, scientists, and artists, have faced numerous setbacks before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison, for example, failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. If he had given up after his first few attempts, the world might not have benefited from his groundbreaking invention. His story is a testament to the fact that failure is not an end point, but rather a stepping stone towards success. One of the reasons why people fear failure is because society often places a great deal of emphasis on success while ignoring the struggles and challenges that come before it. From a young age, people are conditioned to believe that failure is something to be ashamed of, something that indicates weakness or incompetence. However, this mindset is not only harmful but also entirely unrealistic. No one succeeds without facing obstacles along the way. The most accomplished individuals are those who recognize that failure is a natural part of the journey and embrace it rather than allowing it to discourage them. In order to truly accept failure as a learning experience, one must shift their perspective and change the way they respond to setbacks. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, self-doubt, or frustration, it is important to focus on what can be learned from the experience. Failure provides valuable feedback, showing us what works and what doesn't. It pushes us to analyze our actions, refine our skills, and develop resilience. By viewing failure through this lens, it becomes a tool for self-improvement rather than a source of discouragement. Another crucial aspect of accepting failure is understanding that it is not always within our control. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things do not go as planned. External factors, unforeseen circumstances, and even luck can play a role in determining outcomes. However, instead of blaming ourselves or feeling defeated, we must recognize that setbacks are a natural part of any process. It is important to focus on what is within our control, our actions, our attitude, and our ability to adapt and grow from the experience. It strengthens our ability to persevere through difficult times and helps us develop the mental toughness needed to face future challenges. Those who have experienced failure and learned from it often develop a greater sense of confidence in their ability to overcome obstacles. They become more adaptable, more creative, and more determined to succeed. Rather than fearing failure, they learn to embrace it as an essential part of personal and professional growth. Failure also allows us to appreciate success more deeply. When success comes easily, it can be taken for granted. However, when success is achieved after overcoming multiple failures, it becomes far more meaningful. The journey, with all its ups and downs, becomes just as valuable as the destination. The struggles and hardships faced along the way make the ultimate achievement feel even more rewarding. In addition, failure fosters humility and empathy. It reminds us that everyone struggles at some point, and it allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. When we experience failure, we become more understanding of the challenges that others face. We develop a sense of compassion, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us who may be going through similar difficulties. Failure in this way has the power to make us more well-rounded individuals who are capable of supporting and uplifting others. Another important reason why failure should be seen as a learning experience is that it encourages innovation and creativity. Many of the greatest discoveries and inventions in history were the result of failed experiments. Scientists, inventors, and entrepreneurs constantly push boundaries, try new things, and take risks, knowing that failure is a possibility. However, they do not let the fear of failure hold them back. Instead, they use it as motivation to try again. to think outside the box, and to refine their ideas. Without failure, progress would be stagnant, and groundbreaking achievements would never be realized. Ultimately, failure is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather something to be embraced as an essential part of growth and development. Having a positive mindset in the face of failure is one of the most powerful tools a person can develop. It is easy to feel discouraged, overwhelmed, or even hopeless when things do not go as planned, but how we respond to failure ultimately determines our ability to move forward. A positive mindset does not mean ignoring the pain of failure or pretending that everything is fine. Rather, it involves choosing to view setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than as permanent defeats. When someone maintains a positive outlook, they can turn even the most difficult experiences into stepping stones toward future success. One of the key aspects of a positive mindset is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure, to keep going despite obstacles, and to see challenges as temporary rather than permanent. People who are resilient do not let failure define them. Instead, they recognize that setbacks are a natural part of life and use them as motivation to keep striving toward their goals. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth or potential, but simply a part of the learning process. This mindset allows them to push forward even when things seem difficult or uncertain. Another important aspect of maintaining a positive mindset is the ability to reframe negative experiences. Instead of viewing failure as a disaster or a reason to give up, people with a positive mindset see it as a valuable learning experience. They ask themselves constructive questions such as, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can I improve next time?" This shift in perspective allows them to extract meaning from failure rather than feeling defeated by it. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every setback becomes an opportunity to grow, and every failure becomes a stepping stone toward future success. It is also crucial to recognize that setbacks and failures are not permanent. When faced with a failure, it can be easy to feel like the situation will never improve, that the disappointment will last forever, or that success is out of reach. However, this is rarely the case. Time has a way of providing clarity and healing, and what feels like a devastating failure in the moment may later be seen as just one small chapter in a much larger story. People who maintain a positive mindset remind themselves that the current struggles do not define their future potential. They understand that as long as they keep trying, learning, and improving, better opportunities will come. In addition, a positive mindset helps prevent self-doubt from taking over. Failure often leads to negative self-talk, where people begin to question their abilities, their intelligence, or their worth. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed," can be incredibly damaging and can make it even harder to recover from failure. However, those who have a positive mindset recognize that these thoughts are not based on reality. Instead of allowing self-doubt to control them, they challenge these negative beliefs and replace them with more constructive thoughts. They remind themselves of past successes, focus on their strengths, and believe in their ability to overcome challenges. This self-confidence allows them to move forward with determination rather than getting stuck in a cycle of negativity. The positive mindset also helps people stay motivated even after experiencing failure. It is natural to feel disappointed after a setback, but those who remain optimistic find ways to keep going. They set new goals, develop new strategies, and maintain the belief that success is still possible. They do not let failure drain their motivation or make them lose sight of their dreams. Instead, they use it as fuel to work even harder, to prove to themselves that they are capable, and to show that setbacks are only temporary. This inner drive and determination are what ultimately separate those who achieve their goals from those who give up too soon. Surrounding oneself with positivity is another crucial factor in maintaining the right mindset after failure. The people we spend time with, the messages we consume, and the environment we create all have a significant impact on our attitude and perspective. Those who seek out supportive friends, inspiring mentors, and uplifting content are more likely to maintain a positive mindset even in the face of failure. They understand that negativity is contagious, so they choose to be around people who uplift them rather than those who bring them down. Having a strong support system makes it easier to stay optimistic and motivated, even when facing difficulties. Another powerful way to cultivate a positive mindset is through gratitude. Even in the midst of failure, there are always things to be grateful for. Lessons learned, personal growth, new opportunities, or even the simple fact that failure means an attempt was made. Those who practice gratitude shift their focus from what went wrong to what is still going right. This perspective helps prevent them from feeling completely defeated and reminds them that failure is just one part of a much bigger journey. Moreover, failure can often be the catalyst for self-discovery and personal growth. Many people realize their true strengths, passions, and abilities only after facing setbacks. Sometimes failure pushes people in new directions they might not have considered otherwise, leading them to paths that are even better than what they originally planned. By maintaining a positive mindset, people remain open to these unexpected opportunities and embrace change rather than fearing it. They understand that failure is not an end, but rather a redirection towards something even greater. Developing a positive mindset also involves letting go of the fear of failure. Many people are so afraid of failing that they avoid taking risks or trying new things. However, those with a strong mindset understand that failure is not something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced. They see it as proof that they are pushing themselves, challenging their limits, and striving for something bigger. Instead of avoiding failure, they accept it as a necessary part of the journey and approach new challenges with confidence rather than fear. At its core, maintaining a positive mindset after failure is about believing in the possibility of growth, learning, and improvement. It is about refusing to let setbacks define one's future and choosing to see every challenge as an opportunity. By embracing failure with optimism, resilience, and determination, individuals can turn even their lowest moments into the foundation for future success. Failure is often seen as a dead end, but in reality, it is a sign that something needs to change, be improved, or approached differently. When faced with failure, the ability to analyze what went wrong and adapt accordingly is crucial for long-term success. Many people become stuck in cycles of frustration because they repeat the same mistakes without taking the time to understand them. Instead of viewing failure as purely negative, it should be seen as a source of valuable feedback, one that provides insights into areas that need growth, refinement, or a completely new strategy. The first step in analyzing failure is to take a step back and objectively assess the situation. Emotions often run high after a setback, leading to frustration, disappointment, or even self-doubt. However, reacting emotionally without thoughtful reflection can make it difficult to see the real reasons behind the failure. Instead, it is important to detach from the immediate emotional response and look at the situation from a logical perspective. What exactly went wrong? Was it a lack of preparation, a miscalculation, poor timing, external factors beyond control? Understanding the root cause of the failure allows for more informed decision-making moving forward. Another crucial aspect of learning from failure is being honest about personal responsibility. It is easy to blame outside circumstances, bad luck, or even other people, but real growth comes from taking ownership of mistakes. This does not mean being overly critical of oneself, but rather acknowledging areas where improvement is needed. People who refuse to take responsibility for their failures often find themselves repeating the same mistakes, while those who are willing to learn from them develop resilience and wisdom. Honest self-assessment leads to self-improvement, which in turn increases the chances of success in future attempts. Once the reasons for failure have been identified, the next step is to adapt. This means making conscious changes based on the lessons learned. Sometimes, adaptation requires only small adjustments, such as improving time management, refining a technique, or putting in more effort. Other times, a complete shift in strategy is necessary. For example, an entrepreneur whose business fails may need to rethink their target audience, marketing approach, or even the product itself. An athlete who loses a competition might need to adjust their training regimen, work on specific weaknesses, or seek new coaching methods. No matter the situation, the key is to take actionable steps toward improvement rather than dwelling on past mistakes. Adaptation also requires flexibility and an open mind. Many people struggle with failure because they are too rigid in their thinking, unwilling to explore new approaches or consider alternative perspectives. They become attached to a single way of doing things, even when it is not yielding results. However, those who are willing to experiment, take risks, and embrace change are far more likely to find success. Some of the most innovative ideas and breakthroughs in history came from individuals who were willing to pivot after experiencing failure. When one approach does not work, the ability to shift gears and try something new becomes a powerful advantage. Another important aspect of adapting after failure is seeking feedback. Sometimes it is difficult to see one's own mistakes clearly, and outside perspectives can provide valuable insights. Seeking advice from mentors, colleagues, or experienced individuals can shed light on overlooked factors and provide new ideas for improvement. Constructive criticism, rather than being viewed as an attack, should be welcomed as a tool for growth. The most successful people in any field understand that they do not have all the answers and actively seek guidance from those who can help them improve. Patience also plays a significant role in the process of learning and adapting. Many people expect immediate success, and when they fail, they feel discouraged and give up too soon. However, meaningful growth takes time, and setbacks are often necessary steps along the journey. When Thomas Edison was working on inventing the light bulb, he reportedly made over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before finding the right solution. Had he given up after his first few failures, his breakthrough would never have happened. His persistence and willingness to learn from each mistake ultimately led to success. This example highlights the importance of viewing failure not as a reason to quit, but as a necessary part of progress. It is also important to understand that failure is not a reflection of one's intelligence or abilities. It is simply a part of the learning process. Even the most talented individuals experience setbacks, but what sets them apart is their ability to adapt and grow from those experiences. When failure is approached with a mindset of continuous improvement, every challenge becomes an opportunity to gain new skills, develop greater resilience, and refine one's approach. Beyond personal growth, adapting to failure can also strengthen problem-solving skills. When faced with a challenge, those who are willing to analyze and adapt are able to think critically, explore different solutions, and develop creative ways to overcome obstacles. This ability to think strategically and make necessary changes is a valuable skill in any aspect of life, whether in academics, business, sports, relationships, or personal development. People who embrace failure as a learning experience often become more resourceful, innovative, and capable of handling future challenges with confidence. Additionally, learning to adapt after failure builds mental toughness. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable, but those who develop the ability to recover quickly from failure gain a significant advantage. They do not let disappointments derail them or make them question their potential. Instead, they see each failure as a test of their resilience and use it to strengthen their determination. This mindset prevents them from being easily discouraged and allows them to stay focused on long-term goals. In many cases, failure can also serve as a wake-up call. It forces individuals to reassess their priorities, question their current path, and determine whether they are truly committed to their goals. Sometimes, failure reveals that a particular pursuit is not the right fit, prompting a person to explore different opportunities that may ultimately be more fulfilling. While this can be difficult to accept in the moment, it often leads to better choices and greater long-term success. The ability to analyze and adapt after failure is one of the most valuable skills a person can develop. Instead of letting setbacks become barriers, they should be viewed as lessons that provide the information needed to move forward. Those who embrace failure with curiosity rather than fear, who are willing to adjust their approach, and who continuously seek ways to improve, will always be better equipped to handle future challenges. Failure can be discouraging, but the most important thing is to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult it may seem. Many people experience failure and become stuck in a cycle of regret, disappointment, or fear, preventing them from taking the necessary steps to recover and try again. However, allowing failure to define one's journey only leads to stagnation. Instead, the focus should always be on progress, on taking the lessons learned from failure and using them as fuel to push ahead. The ability to persevere despite setbacks is what ultimately separates those who achieve success from those who give up too soon. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to move forward after failure is the emotional weight that comes with it. Feelings of frustration, embarrassment, and self-doubt can be overwhelming, making it difficult to see a clear path ahead. Some individuals replay their mistakes over and over, questioning what they could have done differently and wishing they had made better choices. While reflection is an important part of learning from failure, dwelling too long on past mistakes can be counterproductive. The past cannot be changed, but the future is still within one's control. Moving forward requires shifting the focus from what went wrong to what can I do next. This change in mindset allows individuals to take action rather than remain stuck in negative emotions. Taking action, no matter how small, is the key to progress. Even after a significant failure, moving forward does not require a grand, immediate success. It simply requires a step in the right direction. Small steps add up over time, leading to growth and improvement. For example, an athlete who loses a competition may feel disheartened, but instead of giving up, they can commit to training harder, refining their technique, and preparing more effectively for the next opportunity. A student who fails an exam may feel discouraged, but they can seek help, change their study habits, and work toward better results in the future. Each step, no matter how minor, builds momentum and keeps the journey moving forward. Another important aspect of moving forward after failure is setting new goals. Failure can often derail a person's confidence, making them question whether they should even continue pursuing their dreams. However, instead of abandoning their aspirations altogether, individuals should take the time to reassess and set clear, achievable objectives. These goals should be realistic, specific, and focused on gradual progress. Breaking a larger goal into smaller, manageable tasks makes it easier to regain motivation and confidence. When individuals see themselves making steady progress, even after a setback, they are more likely to stay committed and determined. It is also important to recognize that failure is not a reflection of one's worth or potential. Many people take failure personally, believing that it defines their abilities or limits their chances of success. However, this is not true. Failure is simply an event, not an identity. Some of the most successful individuals in history, from entrepreneurs to scientists to artists, have faced multiple failures before achieving greatness. They understood that their failures were not indications of their worth, but rather challenges that needed to be overcome. The ability to separate one's self-worth from one's setbacks allows for a healthier approach to failure and a greater willingness to keep trying. Moving forward also requires resilience, the ability to recover quickly from disappointment and keep striving despite obstacles. Resilient individuals understand that setbacks are temporary and that persistence is the key to long-term success. They do not allow failure to break their spirit. Instead, they use it as motivation to keep pushing forward. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is a skill that can be developed through experience and practice. Each time an individual faces failure and chooses to keep going instead of giving up, they strengthen their resilience and become better equipped to handle future challenges. Another important factor in continuing after failure is maintaining a strong support system. Facing failure alone can be incredibly difficult, and it is easy to become lost in negative thoughts without encouragement from others. Surrounding oneself with supportive friends, mentors, or family members can make a significant difference. Encouragement from others provides motivation, offers different perspectives, and helps individuals see their own potential even when they are feeling doubtful. People who have a reliable support system are more likely to recover from failure quickly and remain committed to their goals. In addition to external support, self-motivation plays a crucial role in moving forward. No matter how much encouragement a person receives from others, they must ultimately find the inner drive to continue. This requires developing self-discipline, maintaining a positive outlook, and reminding oneself why the goal matters in the first place. Revisiting the original passion or reason for pursuing a goal can reignite determination and make it easier to push through difficult times. Self-motivation helps individuals stay focused on the bigger picture rather than getting lost in temporary setbacks. Another critical element of moving forward after failure is adaptability. Stubbornly repeating the same mistakes without making changes will only lead to more frustration. Instead, individuals must be willing to adjust their approach, try new strategies, and remain flexible in their thinking. Sometimes, moving forward requires taking an entirely different path than originally planned. Being open to change and willing to explore different methods increases the likelihood of success. The most innovative and accomplished individuals are those who are not afraid to adjust their course when necessary. Time management also plays a role in moving forward. After a failure, it is easy to lose momentum and procrastinate on taking the next steps. However, delaying action only makes it harder to regain confidence and motivation. Setting a structured plan with clear deadlines can prevent stagnation and ensure that progress continues. Whether it is setting aside dedicated time each day to work toward a goal, creating a detailed plan for improvement, or breaking tasks into smaller steps, effective time management helps maintain focus and productivity. Another important thing to remember is that setbacks often lead to unexpected opportunities. Many people who initially experience failure later realize that it led them to something even better than what they originally planned. A job rejection might lead to a better career opportunity. A failed business might inspire a new, more successful venture. A lost competition might push someone to train harder and achieve even greater victories in the future. By keeping an open mind and maintaining the courage to keep moving forward, individuals position themselves to take advantage of new opportunities that they might not have encountered otherwise. Self-compassion is also essential in the process of overcoming failure. It is natural to feel disappointed after a setback, but being too harsh on oneself only makes it harder to recover. Instead of engaging in negative self-talk, individuals should practice self-kindness and acknowledge their efforts. Failure is a part of being human, and everyone experiences it at some point. Treating oneself with understanding and encouragement rather than criticism makes it easier to move forward with confidence. Maintaining a long-term perspective is another key element in dealing with failure. In the moment, setbacks can feel overwhelming, but in the grand scheme of life, they are often just small obstacles along the way. Looking at failure from a broader perspective helps reduce its emotional impact and reinforces the idea that it is just one step in a much larger journey. Those who adopt a long-term mindset are less likely to become discouraged by temporary failures and more likely to stay committed to their ultimate goals. Ultimately, the ability to keep moving forward after failure is what determines long-term success. It is not about never failing, but about how one responds to failure when it happens. Failure is an unavoidable part of life, but it does not define who we are or determine our future. What truly matters is how we respond to setbacks, whether we allow them to hold us back or use them as stepping stones toward growth and success. Every challenge, every mistake, and every disappointment carries a lesson. And those who embrace these lessons with resilience, adaptability, and determination will always find a way forward. The road to success is rarely smooth, and the greatest achievements often come after overcoming the greatest obstacles. Each time we rise after falling, we become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the journey ahead. So rather than fearing failure, we should see it as an opportunity, a chance to grow, to learn, and to prove to ourselves that no setback is permanent. The only true failure is giving up. As long as we keep moving forward, success remains within reach.